Hello Ride On people, let's look at some of the prominent and new motorcycles for 2021. Let's run through the manufacturers alphabetically, starting with A for Aprilia. You can now order the beautiful RS660 lightweight sports bike. The bike is a parallel twin producing a useful 100 horsepower. It weighs a featherweight 169 kilo, which is just 372 pounds. It has a full Aprilia electronic suite, and as always from Aprilia, is available in tasteful race bike colour schemes. In addition, it's also available in acid gold fashion colour, very similar to BMW's Austin Yellow. B for BMW. All BMW models wearing Hayes brake calipers are not hitting the shops due to a quality control concern. A 40th anniversary R1250 GSA should be arriving in the spring. There are no exciting changes other than the black and yellow banana-like 719 colour scheme. The S1000XR recently received a decent refresh for 2021. It now has symmetrical headlights, and it's lost £22 and about 10 kilo to tip the scales at a claimed £498. The R1250 RT has always been the best balanced of the proper heavyweight touring bikes. Its size belies its handling and relatively lightweight for the behemoth segment. For 2021, it gets radar cruise control and the latest, biggest and bestest colour TFT. C for Can-Am. The RT Sea to Sky premium machine looks to be the pick of the bunch in 2021. It has big bore Sachs shocks and a classy colour scheme. Bikers often poke fun at machines with two front wheels, whether Nikon, Vanderhaul, Slingshot or Can-Am. But for the disabled, short of stature or confidence, or for those just wanting practical aspects of a car and motorcycle crossover, they are ideal. And there's plenty of choice and plenty of room for all of us on the roads. Live and let live. And C for Combat Motors. The world went PC mad during lockdown, and so Confederate changed their name to Combat Motors. If you're a millionaire looking to blow 150 large on a crowd puller, the Refresh Wraith is the bike to own. Made almost exclusively from high quality billet and military grade aluminum, it is light and exquisite. What isn't machined is carbon fibre or made from unobtainium. Its big 2.2 litre S&S American V-twin motor has more grunt than Tom Jones with tonsillitis. D for Ducati, or Ducati, or Ducati, however you say it. The best news for owners is to know that parent company VW have now clearly stated that they have absolutely no plans to sell Ducati and are very pleased with both the progress and profitability. And they're starting the new year right. The all-new Monster gets everything absolutely right for this year. It has a more powerful engine, producing a real-world 111 horsepower, and is beautifully light at just £366. It's cheaper as well at under $12,000. And it even has a lower seat height to attract even more tushies on seats. The XD Aval Black Star isn't exactly a new bike for 2021, but it's certainly a prominent limited edition. In its all murdered out livery, the XD Aval Black Star will certainly turn some heads this year. But the main event is of course the all new next generation Multistrada V4S game changer. They've worked out between a sports bike's 17 inch and a dirt bike's 21 inch front wheel, and 19 inch is the Goldilocks mid-size. The new wheel size, aluminum frame, dual swing arm plus sunsetting Desmo valve adjustment is sacrilege to many Ducatisti. But like old school Harley riders upset at the move to liquid cooling, they will eventually arrive on a modern page. And with the changes, you've got to love the 9k service intervals and the unheard of new 36k valve checks. Plus it has a Panigale and Street Fighter derived and reverse crank spinning V4 motor and a full electronic suite to tame it. And this is the first bike in the world with combined front active cruise control and rear blind spot monitoring, plus heated everything, a lower seat height, a one-finger adjustable screen, and heat-dissipating bodywork with rear cylinder deactivation whenever needed. It shall win the hearts of many adventure bikes and is a very strong contender for Motorcycle of the Year. H for Harley Davidson. Let's hope in 2021 Harley Davidson pull their finger out and actually release the never-arriving future models. Specifically the Performance Custom, which has no official name yet, but is clearly the liquid-cooled Euro-compliant solution to supersede the venerable Sportster. It will help to begin to compete with the more powerful entry-level Indians and hopefully entice a more youthful audience to a company that has had its head in the sand for the last decade or more. The most exciting new bike for Harley will be the all-new Pan America. A heavyweight adventure bike, the lights not seen from the company since the Buell Ulysses at the turn of the century. Harley have made the public wait far too long for a bike in the biggest selling segment in the world. It's a company that prides itself on doing things differently and embellishing unique looks into its machines. Many find the flat nose a dumbfounding decision and despise the frontal profile looks. Others don't mind it, but I defy anyone to compare the Pan America's nose against the Multistradas and prefer it. A lack of high-level front mudguard and a chain final drive are two key further aspects which differ it from its most obvious peers, which would be the Super Tenere and the R1250 GS Adventure. But in black at least it looks very good from the sides and rear, and is at least something different in this segment. And the claim is strong power at around 150 horsepower, which will be necessary given its expected heavyweight. Its success will very much depend on whether Harley-Davidson price it like a Harley or competitively with its non-American direct competition. If it comes in at, say, $19,995, excluding taxes, crash bars, spotlights and metal panniers, it will sell very well, no doubt. But if they are, say, $24,995, then those that want a reliable bike will buy a Tenere, those that want a well-developed practicality bike will buy the GSA, those that want to get dirty will buy the KTM 1290, and those that just want to have fun will buy the Multistrada V4. It's an impossible segment to crack without the right machine at the right price. H for Honda. I'm kind of surprised that Lexus doesn't actually own Honda motorcycles. They're kind of quiet, you never hear much from them, but you know they build the most reliable vehicles on the planet, and they drop jaws whenever you see the sales numbers. For 2021, the current biggest news for the Big H is the Rebel 1100. The Rebel gets the big bore treatment, and not only that, but a segment first DCT option too. Both it and its smaller capacity sibling offer great value, and a quick search will reveal a number of third-party affordable custom kits to turn the very Japanese-looking custom into an across-the-pond appealing bobber. If you want to build an affordable and reliable custom cruiser, bobber, calf racer or flat tracker from a brand new bike, you could do a lot worse than start with the Rebel 1100. And if you have left foot or hand movement restrictions, or just see pulling clutches and changing gears with your toes a bit too old-fashioned and hard work, then Honda now provides you with an automatic DCT. I'm a fan of DCT gearboxes, and I hope Honda continue to further develop the technology. And H for Husqvarna. The Norden 901, with its 890 adventure-derived engine, is the adventure bike of many people's dreams. Husky's catwalk prototype practically broke the internet when first seen. So many riders wanting a stunning-looking adventure bike in a truly light package with a punchy engine that is both lightweight and compact, but there's never really been a good option for that. There's been some good attempts so far, but nothing has really hit the nail on the head. But if Husqvarna price it right and can keep up with demand, it will easily become their best-selling model of all time, and could also put the cat amongst the pigeons with the big boys if it begins to eat into their mass sales. I for Indian. Let's talk electrification and next generation of riders. Specifically, Indian's most important bike of the year, the eFTR JR. Indian yet again show Harley how best to appeal to the next generation with an all-electric motorbike not aimed at millennials or even Gen Z. It's aimed at kids aged 8 years and up. The eFTR JR is supported with a whole host of accessories and a clothing range, so it's something they are taking seriously. For most youngsters, it will be the very first time they've ever been on a bike, and certainly the first time they've ridden one themselves. If you remember your first time, you'll recall just how instantly exciting and addictive it was to ride a motorcycle, and then it made you want to own a motorcycle for the road as soon as you were old enough to. And that's precisely why it is Indian's most important motorcycle for 2021. Indian are yet again doing something interesting and new. All other manufacturers not already on that same page soon will be. K for Kawasaki. Green may be an unlucky colour for many, but it hasn't stopped Kawasaki winning World Superbike in recent years. Kawasaki's new model announcements are due at the end of January, and you can expect the KLX, ZX10 and HD models to be lightly refreshed. Colour TFTs will continue to spread faster than the coronavirus, and if you like red or green, the colour schemes will certainly suit you. And K for KTM. KTM bikes are light and serious for 2021. The 690 SMCR proudly wears full Apex suspension, and its service intervals have been pushed out. It's now a more civilised and practical complete hooligan, and the 790 gave way to the 890 Adventure. So the road and rally models supersede the 790s, on which they remain largely based still. In short, the 890 Adventure continues to be the very best off-road middleweight. M for Moto Guzzi. Guzzi move at a snail's pace for many, but they have a loyal, small following of fans. The R7 Special is the bike they'll push the most in 2021. It has gained a massive sounding 25% power increase, which granted is a proper hike, but it's worth remembering its new peak power is still a very modest 65 horsepower. But with 80% torque available from just 3,000 revs, plus its beautiful classic good looks, they will tug at the retro heartstrings for many. And M for MV Augusta. The Super Veloce is a stunning limited edition for those with very deep pockets and a local dealer for servicing. The Rush 1000 with Beast mode has a Street Fighter V4 equaling 208 horsepower with equally stunning good looks, menacing. R for Royal Enfield. You may never have heard of the Interceptor 650 from Royal Enfield, but one thing you should know, the king is dead. After decades of being the top selling bike in the world, in England in recent months the GS has had to step aside for the Royal Enfield. How could this have happened? Well, it's all down to a mix of visual appeal, attention to detail, all-round ability and affordability. Couple that with good availability, something BMW are hampered with over the Hayes debacle, have seen the GS usurped. S for Scrambler Ducati. Scrambler is Ducati's sub-brand of very successful, never-ending variants of the same machine taken to the max. The latest is called the Night Shift. This is an 803cc version, which gets the dark treatment with an aviator grey colour scheme. Additionally, it gets some further visual appeal from its spoked wheels, and greater composure from its upside-down forks. Just the thing for posing outside the coffee shop, should they ever reopen again. And S for Suzuki. No earth-shattering changes from Suzuki as usual. In fact, sadly, there hasn't been a new Suzuki that has encouraged me to buy one since the mid-80s. But as MotoGP World Champions, it's incontestably undeniable that they still know how to build race bikes. T for Triumph. The new Tiger 850 Sports is somewhat of an oxymoron. It actually uses the current 900 engine, which has been detuned to 85 horsepower. It offers a reduced spec and price compared with the Tiger 900s and may suit some riders. Normally retro refers to looks or homages to heritage, but this one seems to just be going backwards in technology to me. One bike that isn't is the totally brilliant looking all-new Trident 660 Triple. Visual appeal aside, it offers decent power, lightweight, a low seat and 10,000 mile service intervals. Best of all, it's just $7,995. This makes it a perfect first bigger bike, a good bike for those of shorter stature, and maybe just an ideal second bike for those with too many points on their licence already. V for Vespa. Nothing particularly new from the style gurus that are Vespa, but I think the very pretty GTS Super still requires a mention. It combines timeless looks with urban chic and practicality. It's only lacking an espresso maker to keep up the right image whenever you stop. Y for Yamaha. Yamaha have mainly refreshed existing models these last few years, and 2021 is no different. They have renamed and refreshed the Tracer, which is now called the 9 GT. But it is a very good refresh overall, and will appeal to many who want a good value for money sports tourer in their road bike. It has an all-new engine, dual TFT screens, refreshed headlights, 6-axis IMU, and improved economy to 49 miles per gallon. The split-screen TFT divides opinions. I'm not a personal fan, but the rest of it is an uncontested win. Z for Zero. I don't see any new bikes specifically for Zero for the 2021 year. Their last new bike is the Sports Tourer SRS, and it should be noted that the federal tax credit for them has just ended. I think we will see a huge ramp up of EVs on the bike side of things in the next 5 years or so. Certainly there's going to be big changes in the cars. EVs are already outselling diesels in Europe, and partly because of that, the governments have decided to move forwards the banning of ICE, internal combustion engines, for the sale of new ICE vehicles from 2040 to now 2030. And I really see 2025 as probably the optimum crossover, whereby if you're not buying a pure EV from 2025, you're going to lose a lot of money, internal combustion engine vehicle. What do you think are the top 3 most exciting bikes so far for 2021? For me, I would say the top 3 are, in third place, Harley Davidson's Pan America, just because it's a proper new string to Harley's bow. In second place, the Husqvarna Norden 901, just because it should be light, punchy, and the best looking production ADV. And number 1 has to be the Ducati Multistrada V4S, just because it's the first time they have properly built a better mousetrap than BMW. going to be a great year for the boys from Bologna.
Well, I don't know if you agree with the selections I've made, but hopefully some of them resonate with you. And if you have other ideas about new bikes being released, or perhaps new news of 2021 models being released after this video has come out, then by all means put them in the comments below. Last but not least, ride often, ride carefully, ride on.
Hey you, if you want to become one of the Ride On people, don't forget to subscribe. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.